Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic and Movie Show. My name is Deshaun and today I am here to talk about the Marvels Avengers video game. Now, Marvels Avengers, the game, should be coming out in about 3 or 4 days from now. I believe it's September 3rd, so I believe it's about a couple days from now. Now, I'm recording this video on Sunday, so August, what the hell is today? All the days blend together for me. But I know it comes out in a few days, maybe this coming Wednesday, and I have played the beta. I played the beta, I tried to buy the game, I don't know what's going on, it's a whole bunch of other bullshit. I decided that I'm just gonna wait because I somehow pre-ordered it to get the to be able to play the closed beta stuff, but somehow my payment didn't go through, so they gave me my money back and I have to buy it again, but I still got the pre-ordered stuff. I don't know. I'm not sure. I decided that since I got my money back anyways, I'm just gonna get it when it comes out. I'm not gonna pre-order it. I'm gonna just wait, get it when it comes out, and call it Christmas. Because even when I get it, I'm not gonna be able to review the entirety of the game. But I just wanted to get my thoughts on the game. The reason I'm making this video for real, is because there's a lot of negativity around this game. There's a lot of negativity around the Marvels Avengers game. I've already made a video talking about the DLCs. Particularly the Spider-Man DLC that will be only exclusive for PlayStation. So I wanted to get my thoughts out there. I wanted to play the game and get my thoughts out there. And I will admit, it got repetitive after. Okay, you know what? Okay, let me just start from the beginning. When you first get to play the game, you get to play that little part of the mission, the A-Day mission, where, everything goes to hell, Taskmaster shows up, and sets his bomb off, Captain America apparently dies, and everything goes wrong. And you get to play with each of the characters and get a vibe for each of the characters. And, you probably saw that in the game, in one of the first gameplay trailers, and in the first trailer for the game, the A-Day mission. And admittedly, when you play that mission, you do feel like I don't know, maybe like some people think that the buttons, sure, is the way you hit the buttons and certain things not as complex as other amazing combat systems? Sure, it's a little simplistic. But the way every character executes all their moves is totally different. Thor can throw his hammer around, and I'm sure you probably can unlock something where you can make the hammer move on its own. And the way Thor fights is a lot like a Kratos character. The way Iron Man fights with the more acrobatic flying around stuff, and the fact that Iron Man, just a part of his fighting skills is being able to fly up and just fight some of the things that can fight that are high up in the sky that you can't even really get to, but they can get to you. How the way Hulk can he's coming with the more powerful moves, and he can kind of knock most of the Hulk and Thor moves are really just used to deal with groups of people at the same time. And how Black Widow has a bit more of a tactical thing going, with the ability to not only turn all her allies invisible, but other things of that nature. And the way she fights in Captain America with the shield, and Kamala Khan, they all fight differently. And when you're playing with each of them, you feel like you're fighting. You can feel it, even visually in the way you're playing it. You're like, yeah, I'm playing with a different Avenger. Like I said, the buttons are the same, but when you're doing it, you can literally go, yeah, this is different. There are certain things certain Avengers can do that other Avengers can't do, and there's just certain aspects of it that's just depending on which Avenger you decide to use is how difficult is the difference between the game. But the big part that you got to play is you get to play this part with Kamala Khan and the Hulk, and it's about like an hour and a half, maybe 2, depending on how slow it takes you. But it's about an hour and a half. It's like you get to play the entirety of this one mission, and you get to play a little bit of another mission. And you get to play a little bit, and you get to do a little bit more exploring and stuff, and you get to play a little bit of another mission. And then the map opens up, and then they kind of send you on. This is when it gets a bit repetitive, but it's hard for me to judge the war table aspect of it, because when I first started doing the war table stuff, it was fun. It was fun playing with the Avengers, playing with the different events. You can only play with Iron Man, Black Widow, Kamala, and Hulk, but it was still fun playing with all of them and mixing it up and playing with the different ones and seeing how different it is. I will say this is an interesting game. The War Table's interesting because the way they set it up is, you know, you could go out. You could this is a game where the difficulty of it, it's not as easy as it looks. There were many times playing through that main chapter because, you know, you get to choose the mode normal, you know, hard or whatnot, and I choose normal. And there was many times going throughout that I will admit there were times where it got kind of difficult because when, you know, when you're getting overwhelmed and enemies are coming at you and like they're hitting damage because like they're hitting you and stuff, like it's a simplistic game, but it's not easy. And even to that you know, note, depending on how you want to play the battle, you know, the open world, the battle, I guess the War Table missions, which they kind of vary. Like some of the War Table missions are sort of mini open world. I say they're mini open world, particularly one, because they'll drop you and you have a main objective, but you have other things you can go do in this small little area. And you can go off and do other things and find unlockable things. I'm sure, like, clearly they didn't want you to find too many unlockable things because you just have it for the game, and then it'd just be like, oh, well, you didn't even have to really buy the game to get all this unlockable stuff. But, you know, you find unlockable things, you can purchase costume with in-game currencies, and so far, I was having fun, but like I said, it does get repetitive after a while, to the point where I only really played, after I got past that initial story part, I really only played the Battleground stuff for about maybe a day or two before I was like, I'm good. For maybe a day. I'd say a day and a half before I was like, I'm good, and I got rid of the beta. But I will admit, the story aspect of it, the funness, I mean, in that story, eventually you have this really cool, there's two really cool boss battles that were really different, and like, it feels different. When you're fighting, when you have your boss battle with Taskmaster, when you're Black Widow, you feel like you have to you feel like you have to dodge him, and you feel like it's you feel like it's just a one-on-one hand-to-hand combat fight, except he has a sword and a shield. When you're fighting goddamn Abomination, it feels like two heavyweight brawlers just beating the shit out of each other. It feels like two big bosses are just pounding each other through walls, and you're trying to figure out how to get your shots in. I mean, it's like, and I dug that. I dug the boss battles. I'm like, if this is how the boss battle is gonna be, that's gonna be cool. And it really gave me hope for the story, because I realized, I was like, I really dig this story. And like when they kind of showed you clippings and stuff of the actual event and how it went down, how it appears the Avengers were set up and Terrigen Mist went throughout the country and made a bunch of humans, including Kamala Khan, and the Avengers are being blamed for it, and how Tony Stark and how everyone's feeling guilty because they think Captain America's dead, and how Thor and fucking Iron Man, his company has got, like, Stark Industries has gone under, Iron Man's broke, and he's just some, you know, schmuck with a huge beard and depressed all the time. Thor's gone. Fucking Bruce Banner kind of ended up going out in front of in a courtroom and say the Avengers are a threat, and that made Tony Stark hate him. There's so many interesting things in this story. And I remember just going, and you really only see, and you really don't see the beginning of the story. You just get to see the tail. You could just see, like, the way that mission felt, because since if you've seen enough of the story, you know, stuff they put out, you're like, well, clearly the first part of this story is Kamala escaping those people on the rooftops and stuff, because you saw that as a part of the gaming demo, but you didn't, I mean, not gaming demo, a part of like the game footage stuff, so you know that's the beginning. So this has to be like shortly after that, so this isn't even like, so if this is shortly after that, that mission was about an hour, so I can only imagine that you could probably get about 15 hours tops out of this game, depending on how fast you're going, depending on if you're trying to be a completionist out of the story, and then probably a way more map variance of you know, the war table missions and the things you can do. Clearly it's gonna get a lot, you know, you're gonna have a lot more to do the more stuff comes out. And when I saw how much the game might be in terms of gigs, I heard the game's gonna be like 50 something gigs. I was like, I feel, and the vibe I'm getting from the game is it's gonna be kind of like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now this is new to me, it might not be new to other gamers, but I didn't know that games kept coming with updates that were 11 to like 12 gig updates, where you could purchase a game that is like 40 gigs, 48 gigs. You're like, okay, it's 48 gigs. And then 4 or 5 months later, that same game that was once 40 gigs is now like 185 gigs. And you're like, holy shit, how many expansions and how much space is this game taking up? And I get a vibe that's exactly how this game's gonna be. The more stuff they come out with, expansions, you know, DLC characters, well, the new places you can go on the war map, because the war map is just in America, which makes me think that eventually you're going to go to another place, which makes me think eventually you're going to be able to go whoop and go to another entire continent or something, maybe go to Wakanda or something. You know, once they come out with more characters, the more characters they come out with, they're going to be like, whoop, you can go here now, you can go here now. It might be a little different, but you know what I mean? Like, and clearly there are certain missions you haven't even gotten to see yet, so there are certain parts of the game you haven't even seen yet. So I'm excited for this game. I would give the beta an 8 out of 10. At least the beta. For the story aspect of it seemed really fun. I had a blast playing with the characters. It really was fun. It was just fun playing an Avengers game. I've always said Marvel has the ability to make awesome games too. And this game looks like it's going to be really fun. I will be giving you my full review probably in a couple weeks from now, because I'm gonna at least play halfway through the game before I could give you my opinion on the game. You know, at least play halfway through the game. I can't speedrun games. Games aren't like movies and TV shows, man. It's you know, you work at your own pace. So hopefully I'll be giving you my full review of this. But for now, these are my thoughts on the demo and, you know, my initial thoughts on the Marvel Avengers game. Thank you for joining us on Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. Did I just like miss a word there? Thank you guys for joining me on the Comic Gamer Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.